Hello, my peaceful and profitable entrepreneurs. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to our conversation today. I'm very excited. We're talking about booking clients with ease. I'm kind of giving behind the scenes intel on what I do with my one-to-one clients. They make anywhere from $250 to $10,000 of new revenue a month. And I know this because I see their numbers. We do a revenue share. I know that this literally creates more dollars in your business. So we're going to dive into that today. It's also something I use in my own business and have been using data for a while for this. So we're going to dive into that. This process or this conversation is all about making your sales process work. So this isn't a conversation about creating your sales process. But if you don't have a sales process, I really invite you to book a 10K content strategy audit call from our Clients in Cash. I'll put the link below. This is one of the main things I see of why people aren't booking clients and why their content isn't working is because they're basically proposing on the first date. And so what we do together is make sure that we create a sales process or a client journey or a client ladder or whatever you want to call it. We can kind of use those phrases interchangeably. But so today we're kind of just assuming that you already have a sales process and making that work because that's what books clients with ease. So we're going to dive into that again. If you don't have a sales process, no worries, grab the call and we will get you some free one-to-one support to literally set that up so that your content not only works better and converts, but you also can do what we're talking about today and really use all this goodness that I'm going to share with you. Let me get everything adjusted. So a couple housekeeping items. If you join live or the replay, be sure to ask questions, leave comments. I love interacting with you and just really want this to be supportive and for you. So if you do comment or ask a question, you'll be entered to win. I would love to give you my Mastering Sales Post Masterclass. This is all about writing sales posts that really sell what you're selling. So often I see people have a PS at the end of a post or a call to action that's link in my bio or something, but literally you need to sell the shit out of whatever you're selling, whether it's a free call or a freebie or whatever that next step is. So you want to have this masterclass playbook. It's for sale on my website, but I like to give it away as a special treat for someone who joins here live because I know there are a ton of places you could be, and I'm so grateful for you being here. And we'll be going live tomorrow with Christy Zumwalt. She will be talking to us about websites and how to do some special tweaks to yours so that yours converts. So be sure to join us tomorrow, same time, 12 o'clock Eastern time. So I'm really excited about that because she's one of my favorite people. So I know she's got a lot of goodness to share for us. But hope everyone's having a great week. It is beautiful fall weather here in Charleston. Last weekend, we had my best friend from 30 years. She came to visit with her mom, so we got to hang out with them, which was really special. I got to meet our bookkeeper, Sarah, in person. If y'all have been here a minute, you've probably seen her on some live streams. She is in Maryland and was here with her husband on a baby moon. So it was just really special to go to dinner with them and just get to meet her in person, which is just amazing. And then Sunday, we went to see the Taylor Swift Eras Tour movie. I took my 3 girls. They are 8, 7, and 4, so that was a ton of fun. And it's kind of how I want to start this conversation, which I know is a weird place to start, but bear with me. I loved, just her breadth and depth of musician, dancing, all that stuff. Just entertainer is just the full package. But I loved how her eras are so different, they are all very distinct. In one era, she's at a piano with moss on the piano, and then another, it's just a snake and in your face and unapologetic and, just kick-ass kind of feeling. And I just loved how she just appreciates every version and every era of herself. I think that's something we can all use and take away in business is just a lot of the work I do with my one-to-one clients is about not making themselves wrong. It's about seeing that they're always getting it right and building self-trust because it's just, it was just so fascinating to see that even though she wasn't in that era or that phase anymore, she was just so grateful to that previous version of herself. And I think that's just something that can serve us so well as business owners and kind of what leads into this conversation because I think so often as business owners, we're making ourselves wrong. And so much of the work I do behind the scenes with clients is around this, and some of the stuff I haven't openly shared yet, but we are using like data and numbers to like help them see that they're actually getting it right. We're actually solving the right problem, closing the right gap, no matter what era or phase that they're in. So I think, just having this behind the scenes insight, like I've been working with business owners behind the scenes for 7.5 years. I've done one-to-one support for over 2 years now. And, most of my clients renew and keep working with me. And it's just so amazing to like be with them on this journey and see them on all the different eras and phases of their business and see what they're going through. Because I think it's just really powerful support. But in the past 10 months, I've gone deeper with data and numbers. Like my background is QuickBooks, and I know QuickBooks like the back of my hand, and I love extrapolating data from that and using Google Analytics 4 and Looker Studio and some other platforms that have really been helpful to support my clients so that we know like basically where the kink in the hose is in their sales process. I don't like to use the term funnel leaks. I don't like that, but we're kind of seeing like where are people dropping off, where's the kink in the hose. So that's the conversation we're having today. I'm going to bring it through my mindset strategy, organize, implement framework. But it's basically like booking more clients with ease comes from a sales process that just works. And you know how it works, where people are dropping off. If you're not getting the results that you want, the problem to solve. And so again, this is why my clients make, 250 to 10K of new revenue a month, is because of this process that we're going through. So let's dive in. Let's see, I'm looking at my notes. So when we're talking about booking clients with ease, it means that your sales journey is working. It means that someone finds you, they take the next step, and they keep building and deepening that relationship with you. And when this process works, it's just so easy to book clients. I'm always talking about building a well-oiled machine, and I love the term boring business. And, this is what I'm talking about. It's about knowing you can get full, you can stay full. It's not just relying on that next person, or, you did book a client, but it's like, okay, great. Like, I don't know how to replicate that. I don't know how to do that again. Because that is not a fun feeling. So this is about like, okay, our sales process is constantly like planting seeds with people, and then those just kind of sprout and are ready at different times. So having a sales process that works is key. And that's why we are talking about this today. And so many business owners and clients come to me when it isn't working, and they have no idea why. They have no idea what's going on. So again, we're not talking about building that sales journey or funnel or ladder today. Book a call and you can get support around that. But we are talking about like how to make the one that you have work better, and where you can really problem solve there. So let's dive into the mindset piece. And the piece I want to talk about with mindset, it kind of sounds like I'm jumping around, but hear me out. I recently heard a Dr. Becky podcast. Her podcast is Good Inside, and it's about like parenting stuff, but she had a podcast named, the title was something about like data for parents or something. And it was just fascinating. It was so interesting how like, even with, when you're pregnant, there's so many things that we're told as pregnant women. Like I had 3 daughters, and I went to nursing school. Like there's so many things that are like common rules or, things that people tell you, but like, there's no data to back it up. Like I learned in nursing school that a lot of doctors, sorry, I'm getting notifications on something. Let me mute that. But I learned in nursing school that all these doctors would put pregnant women on bed rest, but there was literally like no data to back it up. But they just didn't know what else to do. It was like, we don't know what to do, so we're gonna put people on bed rest just to like CYA and like fingers crossed, hope for the best. And so I think that's just so interesting, because as a mom, as a pregnant woman, like I made myself wrong so many times because of things that like weren't actually backed up in data, like things that I shouldn't eat. Like there was an instance where I was somewhere and there was a certain type of food, and that was the only thing that there was for dinner. Like we were literally on a boat, and this was the only thing. It was raw fish. And I was so like, it's either between me not eating dinner, which is like not gonna happen because I'm gonna be the worst person to be around, and that's not gonna happen. And then being like, have I done irrevocable damage to my child? Like, oh my gosh. And then in some cultures, they eat tons of like raw fish or, whatever during pregnancy. So it was just so interesting to see how I was making myself wrong for something that was like there's this kind of rule, but we don't really have a ton of data or support around it. So that's like how I want to start this conversation, is like, just so much blaming starts with not knowing. Like, as a business owner, we blame ourselves because we think we aren't getting it right, when really we just aren't asking the right questions. We also make purchases that don't pan out. Like, we buy something that, like, we think we need to like grow our email list, but actually if we just converted like a few more people on the list, then we might be full. So that's just something with the mindset piece around like, not blaming ourselves just because like we don't have the right questions. Another thing I see people do is like redoing their entire website when actually there are conversions. Like, people are converting when they get to their website. Maybe they have 50% conversion rate. They just only had 10 people to their website last month. So like, they have a great conversion rate. We don't need to necessarily like mess with the landing page. We just need to get more eyeballs on the landing page, or get more eyes to their website. So that's just something I see to be like super helpful with this part, is like not making yourself wrong. It's like, okay, my offer doesn't suck. It's not me. Maybe like, it's not that the price needs to be changed, or I need to like redo my offer suite. Like, it's literally just like, okay, maybe I don't have this in front of enough eyeballs, and let's solve that problem. Or maybe I do have a lot of eyeballs, and now I need to think about like, okay, is the landing page, supportive to them, or kind of tweaks there. So we'll kind of talk about the details of that. But I really just want to start with this mindset piece of like how powerful it can be to just have this data at your fingertips and really know like literally what's going on. Like, I don't have to get all jacked up like if I didn't have a ton of people sign up for my masterclass, because I'm like, literally barely anybody saw it. So like, I'm good. Like, the people who did see it signed up. So like, this isn't like some internal struggle. This isn't anything I need to take personally. This isn't like hitting on my enoughness as a business owner, or am I worthy enough as a business owner. It's literally like, I just need more eyes on my stuff. And it is just so empowering. And I love supporting clients with this because it's just wildly like helpful. If they're like, no one's buying, and it's like, literally, did anyone open the email? Like, how many people opened the email? How many clicked the link? And they're like, oh, okay. So like, this is the mindset that we're taking. This is what we're talking about. And this is why I think we are using, not why I think, but this is why I'm using data with my clients so much, because I just see the ability to problem solve is so much easier when we're back to neutral and we can like step back and see what's really going on, instead of being like, I'm a shitty business owner, or my offer sucks, or whatever million other things we could talk about. So that is the mindset piece, is leaning on the data, delving into it, asking the right questions, because that's when we can solve the right problem. That's when we can close the right gap. We can stop blaming ourselves for our results or a lack of results, and just see like the facts for what they are. Last week we were talking about this with Lisa. It's just like how much power there is in awareness. So just being aware that like, hey, I just need some more eyeballs on my stuff. I just need some people to click this, and then like, we're kind of good. So that's where I'm really wanting to work with my clients and want to support you on this process. So the strategy piece of this, if you aren't getting the clients or you're not getting the sales that you want, really ask, do you have a leads problem or do you have a conversion problem? Because those are two totally different things. Leads would be like, people aren't, going to your website. People aren't just seeing their eyes on it. And then conversion is like, okay, people are seeing it, but they're not taking that next step. That's just something I see to be like kind of the most basic, powerful thing. Like, I'll get into more examples kind of in the organized piece of this, but that's just something I want you to like literally sit and look at in your business right now. Think about like, what is the actual problem? Because it can be so overwhelming to feel like we have all these things going on in our business and we don't know what's working. We don't know what's not working. And this is why my clients make $250 to $10K in new revenue a month, because we aren't redoing everything in their business. We're literally making 1% shifts. We're making small tweaks. We're making updates to their current strategy. Like, we're seeing what works and doing more of that. We're not like building something and burning it down, building something and burning it down. So like, think of your sales journey, client ladder, sales process, whatever you want to call it, and literally like map it out. So literally start by, writing the strategy down, putting it in a Word document, whatever works for you. Keep it as simple as possible. It doesn't need to be that like 50 email funnel or whatever. And even if you're not an online business, like you still probably have a client journey. Client journeys and sales processes existed before online business and online marketing. And it just can be so simple. And again, book a free call will get you set up with your sales process if you don't have one. But really think about what's the process someone goes through and write that out. Because this is where we want to start problem solving. Where are people dropping off? I don't love the term leaky funnel or close the leaks in your funnels. Like, I don't love that terminology because I think that people do need to fall off. Like, I have a very small capacity for one-to-one support. I don't want everyone to be on my funnel. And probably half of those people wouldn't be a good fit anyway. And so I don't love that term, but I do like thinking about where's the kink in the hose. So something I do with a lot of my clients is like, we can spend months to even a year of like getting their sales process on lockdown. And I know people can be like, oh, months to a year, fuck that shit, but it's like, that is actually wildly helpful. Like, if you can take months to even a year to get your whole sales process on lockdown so that every step works, like, that is amazing. Like, it is like, that's what epic results are built on. That is what like scaling is built on, is having this process that you just know, I go hit these levers and it works. So feel free, if you're hopping on, I know we had some people kind of hopping on mid live stream here, but feel free to share your business and we can talk about it. But that's what I literally like to do, is look at each step. So you have each step of your sales process and then thinking about like, okay, where's the kink in the hose? Where are people dropping off? So maybe I'm getting people to the website, but people aren't taking the next step. Okay, let's work on that. Whether it's a template, or maybe you're giving away a free call, or maybe you do an audit, or whatever, download you have. Like, are people taking that next step? And if not, how do you fix that kink in the hose? So that looks like maybe you just need more eyes on it, like we talked about earlier. Maybe you have lots of eyes on it, but you need to update the landing page, or you need a couple buttons, or you just made to speak to objections on it. Like, whatever that is, get that process where they enter your process. Get that process where they enter your process. Get that first step of your sales process like really working well and focus there. Ignore like 50 other things that are quote unquote wrong in your business and really just focus on that first step. So then from there, they move into your sales process into more of like the middle offer. So maybe that is like a 1-week trial with you. Maybe it is a 3-hour intensive. Maybe it is a VIP day, like whatever that is. Okay, we got them this far. Are people taking me up on the next step? So the more people we have coming through that first step, the more data and helpful information we're going to get for conversions. Because a lot of times this might be a little bit higher ticket. You might be talking to them personally. And this is a great place to probably see like, yes, I need more people coming through this process, but then also really focusing on conversions. And so this is thinking about like, okay, what worked? What worked to get them to sign up for that first, step, that initial offer that you had? And whatever worked there is probably going to help convert to their higher, to your mid-ticket, whatever you're selling or offering. So just thinking about like, okay, what brought them in? What brought them over the fence for this lower ticket thing? And then how can I use that information to really support them as they move into this next phase? And then once you get that conversion, you're good with that, then that's when you're like, okay, now they're feeding into like my 12-month program or my really big offer, my full VIP day, whatever that looks like for you. And that's like the next conversation to have. So we're really taking it like piece by piece. And this is not like the sexiest, most like most marketing doesn't really talk about this because it's like, it doesn't sound as exciting and sexy to work on your business and really get clear on each step of the process for months or a year. And it doesn't have to be a year. I mean, it could be much faster than that, but some of my clients just have like things that they need to work through, or we're like, okay, we've taken this, information and now we're kind of shifting the, offer that we're doing based on the information that we're getting and based on what I, as the business owner, kind of like to do and where I naturally shine. So it's not like it has to take months or a year, but it does take time, especially as you're gathering data and working with people. So close the door so the dog doesn't bark. where was I? But yeah, that's where I like to really get granular with my clients and figure out like, what is the problem to solve right now? What is the gap to close? And really get strategic. Like, we're not like, oh, we need to change platforms and Facebook groups don't work and this doesn't work, so now we're going to switch to this, but really looking at like, what am I already doing and how can I make that work better? And obviously, if something needs to be changed, they're like, I think I talked about this in one of the other live streams, but of a client that's just like, feels like Facebook groups just like suck her soul and it's just not where she wants to be. And it's like full permission to not do that because it doesn't feel aligned. But it's not because of like, oh, Facebook groups just don't work for me and, I'm not willing to do it. So you can like switch strategies or switch gears or pivot or whatever, but it doesn't come from this place of like not having the information or not having the data. It's really something that is intentional that you're doing. So that is my call to you with your sales process, and the strategy of it is really think of it like a hose, and where is the kink in the hose? Where are people dropping off? What is the right gap to close there? So let me know if y'all have questions about that. But if not, I'll keep going. So organize. I like to think about business as like a fun science experiment. And this is like my clients like always tease me. They're like, you're more excited about my business than I am. I'm like, yes, this is so much fun. This is such a great like learning opportunity. And just like when we get to neutral with our business, it really just gets to be fun. It's not this like, it doesn't mean anything. And we already talked about that with the mindset part, but business just gets so much easier when it's just kind of this fun experiment. And yes, we want it to make us money, and I'm all about like taking home more pay and profit and all of that. But that really happens from like stepping back and being like the CEO and the visionary in your business and really figuring out what's going on. So the thing about the organized piece that I really want to talk about, and this is like where kind of I just mentioned a second ago, like I'm not going down a new rabbit hole with my client for like every single thing. It's not like, we're switching platforms all the time, or now we had an email list and now we're not using the email list, or whatever that is. Like if they're posting online, if they're sending emails, or whether they're getting on other people's podcasts, or they're posting in groups, or they're offering trainings, like whatever that is, it's like, as long as it still feels good to them and it's aligned with them and they really enjoy it, then we keep doing that. We just keep looking at how do we do this better. So it's not like we're throwing out the entire strategy like we just talked about. We're improving and making tiny tweaks along the way. So I have some examples. And again, this talk is something I had on my mind for a long time, but I kind of wanted to get the data and the examples to share with y'all. So I've got a list of examples and data to share with y'all. So we'll kind of dive into these. So one client I worked with, they had a welcome series that was like 8 emails. So kind of one of the first things we did was like pare that down to like 4. And we made these really solid. Like we set up exactly what the intention of each email was. And then we even like wrote it. We didn't write it together. She wrote it, sent it to me. I put comments and suggestions because that's something I just love doing with clients. To really help her like have them super clear. We put links in them, and then we just started watching like, okay, which emails are performing the best? Where are people clicking and going to the website? And it was just really fun to see that data of like, okay, she had this huge 8 email thing, and we just really pared it down and got really solid, and we were able to see like how much more traffic that sent to her website and exactly which emails were sending people to the traffic. Because it's like, oh, interesting, people love when we talk about this. People like really like this. That's great information. We're going to keep using that going forward. So that's one example. And then another one with this is putting links in multiple places within one email and then seeing that they get clicked more. So instead of just having the link all the way at the bottom of the email, it's like, okay, we kind of have it in multiple places, more at the top and more at the bottom. And so just seeing like that helped tremendously. Like it's so simple, but just really like making that easier. So if someone's just skimming, or they just like kind of want the tagline and the main takeaway, and then they want to click, like that's just super helpful to see and great information for us, so that like we can do that more often. Like we can do that with most of the emails now because we know that people like that. And then also like that email was speaking to objections. Like, okay, that was so interesting to see that like that was the one that got most people to her website and started buying. And this is just something with, her audience that we learned is they kind of need that permission. They kind of need someone to be like, it's okay to spend money on yourself. It's okay to, invest in this. Because for her services, a lot of people just aren't telling her clients that. They feel like it's something that they can't give themselves permission to get help or support with. And so when she really spoke to those objections and brought it to them that like, yes, you actually can get support, and actually I have some amazing ways that you can pay for this and make it cheaper and make it more easily accessible. Like, that is just so helpful to see that like people would buy, like they're just buying so much faster because we spoke to exactly the thing in their head that they were like thought was the reason that they couldn't buy. And that just really helped like increase her sales. So that is something to play with there in your own business. Another client, we really started selling in her stories. And we could just see on the back end in Google Analytics 4 and Looker Studio, like I could see how many clicks to the website came from Instagram and how many came from the bio. And it was just fascinating to see like, okay, which types of stories people are clicking from, and just like seeing the traffic and the clicks and the sales from that, because it made a big difference. Like, we didn't know before that, everything just kind of came from Instagram, but now we've got it really like segmented and tagged so that we know, which is really helpful. So they were able to like fill their capacity. It was during their busy season. We just like hit it hard with sales and the Instagram stories. And we could see so much traffic come from that. And just because of the way her website and the bookings is, we couldn't see like literally did all of those people click and schedule, because it just takes you to a different site and we just kind of lose that information. But we did see she filled up the spots. They filled up their busy season capacity, which was really amazing. And we know that like those IG stories definitely brought traffic to the site, even though I can't see like exactly how many people of those, but it's just like, we know that the sales went up and we know that the stories brought a lot more people there each month. So that was really fun to see. Another example that I do with multiple clients, I do this with myself, is really seeing which Facebook groups are bringing traffic to their website. So if you're posting in Facebook groups and using that strategy, it is a great strategy. And it's just helpful to see like, okay, we can tag the links for our different Facebook groups. And so we're seeing exactly which ones. Like, I can see when someone clicks to my website, is it coming from my Facebook group? Is it coming from, my like Facebook page for my business, or from other Facebook groups that I'm in? Like, they are very meticulously tracked. And so when we drop the links in, we know that when someone clicks that link, which Facebook group they're coming from. Because nobody wants to be in like a million Facebook groups, especially if it's not working, if it's not getting new clients. Like, full permission to leave that Facebook group. And so this is a way that we can like see that. And it's like, okay, we've been going all in on this Facebook group for however many months and it's not getting us traction. So like, we can leave that group and then we can, try a new one and just kind of see like, okay, these are our main groups. This is what we're going to keep going all in on, and just see like, I'm not like paying team members to like go post in other groups if like I'm literally not getting anything out of it. So that's just kind of a fun thing to see in your business, kind of like where people are coming from, like in terms of clients, and also seeing that like you don't want to waste team time and money on things that aren't working. And that it applies to other things too, not just Facebook groups. So like I said, with Instagram, with the stories, like you can see like your Instagram traffic versus Facebook traffic versus YouTube versus LinkedIn, like whatever platforms you're on, you just track those so that you can see like where are the people coming from and where can you like double down on, or where can you kind of like scrap that, or just not go all in as much because it's not bringing you the traffic after trying it for a while, because any strategy takes 30, 60, 90 days. Like, you got to give it time to play out, and then like full permission to kind of like tweak the strategy. Like, it's not like, maybe you're giving up or not doing Facebook groups at all, but like you're just switching out a few of those. So that's like a fun takeaway that I love doing with clients. Some of my other clients who really aren't online, aren't doing, online marketing, they have like word of mouth and referral partners. So we even track the links that we send them. Like, each kind of referral partner has like their own link that we send them. And so we can see which referral partners, like obviously if you're talking to someone, it's pretty easy to be like, so-and-so sent me to you. But if they don't book a call right away, or, it's just kind of for like better for long-term data to be like, oh, we can see which referral partners are, giving out this link and people are clicking it, because you are only, if somebody contacts you, that they were given your information because they contacted you, but there could be a whole host of other people who aren't booking a call. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice today. And so this is really telling me like, oh, interesting. Like, I'm getting like 3 calls a month from certain referral partners, but I'm seeing that like, 10, 15, 20 people are going to my website a month who aren't booking. So, okay, that tells me like my referral partners are sending people to my website, but now my website's kind of like they're not booking the call or taking the next step. So that tells me I can lean in more on my website, more on the page, whatever I can tweak there, instead of just being like, oh, my referral partners aren't sending me anyone, I guess I need to just stop reaching out to them or building those relationships. It's not working. Like, no, they definitely are. And what we need to fix is on our side of, the website, or maybe they aren't. If they aren't sending you people, like having that conversation with them, like maybe you can give them a little taste of what you do and offer them, your service for free so that they can have like a mini session and see what to expect. And they know exactly who would be a great fit for it. So like working more on the relationship building side. So again, this is just really like getting super granular and seeing like, what is actually going on in your business, instead of just scrapping it and being like, okay, well, referral partners didn't work, and so now I need to get online and I need to start this whole content marketing, plan. Like, that may not be true. It may just be that you need to go, build those relationships with the referral partners a little bit more and help them understand the work that you do and the people you support, and just kind of work there, or the website. So there's just so many things we can do within one strategy before we want to totally be like, scrap it, throw it out type of thing. I have a sip of my water. I always talk fast on these, and been talking all day, so my throat is definitely getting weary. So the next thing is, one of my clients had a wait list, and she had like a really amazing list of people that signed up for her wait list, but when she rolled out her offer, no one was buying. And we kind of talked about this in a previous live stream of like, my invitation to her was to like focus on them. But what it told us was that she had this big audience of warm leads. Like, it was like 50 something people, I want to say, and no one was buying. And what it told us was that like, they didn't really understand why they needed it. Like, they were a warm audience. They had already signed up for this wait list. It's not like they're like, ha ha ha, I'm going to get on her wait list and then not buy. Like, it's like, no, I'm interested. Tell me more about it. I want to be the first to know about it. But when she was rolling it out, we looked at the emails, and really like, it was just a huge list of just like what she was delivering. And she was delivering a ton of stuff. Like, she was giving really great value for the price of this. And for her, it was just like a grand slam, like no brainer. Why is anyone buying? But I was like, they literally don't understand why this is going to help them. Like, I can't even understand if I'm just reading this email. So we really like reformatted the email and really broke it down for them, like the results that they want, the takeaways that they want, like what was possible, instead of just throwing like, you get these 50 things for this price. Like, it was literally like, here's the result you want, and this is how we're going to get you there, and really helping them understand like what they wanted and giving them that like, why they need it. And so when we switched those emails, we were really able to see like, she booked out her launch after that, because people were like, okay, now we understand. And if we would have just been like, oh, we sent that email and nobody bought, I guess emails don't work for us, let's go try YouTube, like, it would have been so easy to do that. But it was like, okay, let's pull up that email. Okay, you had a ton, you had 50 something people on the wait list who got it. You had this many people who opened it or read it, nobody bought, whatever amount of clicks. Like, something is going on where they just don't understand, or they don't see the value in this, or they're just really freaking scared to like go in on themselves and buy this. So like, let's have that conversation. So that was when we tweaked the emails and just had massive results. And she's kind of doing this like every few months. Like, she's already got more people on her wait list again. And like we already have those emails kind of ready because we took like what worked and now we can use it again. And it's not to say like she won't have to tweak it again or she won't have to like update it, but it's like we have such a great like email set and with like results already that like we might have to tweak it a little bit, but like we know what works and we can kind of keep doing more of that. So that is just like so powerful in your business to know what works and keep doing it and just make minor tweaks along the way. And so this comes kind of like to the implement piece. Like it gets so much easier when we have a starting place. Like if you're just sitting there and you're like, I literally have no idea what's going on. Like this is when you start asking, where are people dropping off, and just start there. Like if you have tons of people downloading your freebie or getting on calls or whatever that first step is, great. That's already working. So start at the next step. Like if they're not going to the next step, what's there? It's not like, oh, let me change my offer. I need to change my price. I need to get on a different platform. I need to update my landing page for like the 5th time. Like redo the entire email sequence. Like, yes, we might be doing those things, but it's not from like a, I don't know what to do, so I'm just like messing with stuff place. Because your landing page might be great. You just don't have people on it. So then you're going and messing with it and it's still not going to get you the results that you want. So it just gets to be so much more clear because we know where to start. We have data that we can use. We aren't getting all charged up about it. So, we'll kind of just go back through, like we talked about the mindset piece, because it gets so much easier when we can be neutral and look at our business as like a scientist and not that it's like an extension of us and our worthiness and who we are. And so just seeing that like it's literally kind of this thing outside of us and we're trying to get it to work in a certain way. And so then we get to sit and ideate and play with it. So that's like the mindset piece I want you to take about like data just makes things so much easier. You can just step back and see that it's not your offer that sucks or your prices that suck or you that suck. It's literally like maybe no one's there and that's what we need to tweak. So taking that mindset that using data is just really supportive and really going to help you. And then the strategy piece is not to just like totally throw out your strategy, but really get clear on the sales process and the sales journey and where people are dropping off and just starting there. The organized piece is just seeing that like tiny tweaks to that said strategy so that you can do more of what's working. Like we talked about keeping the strategy, going all in on it, and then just really taking a microscope to each piece and seeing what's working and like where can you adjust certain things. It's kind of like you turn a little knob over here and press a lever over here and just like get it into this sweet spot that like you can use again and again, because that's like the huge piece about implementing is that like you're not constantly trying something new, building something and burning it down. Like you're literally just doing one piece at a time and focusing on that so that you don't have to like wonder or get confused or overwhelmed and like redo your whole business. So if you're feeling lost, I totally get it. Like it can be so overwhelming to not know what's wrong in your business or why you're not booking clients. But I promise if you do these steps, it's just going to be so much easier. And if you're just feeling overwhelmed or feel like you don't have a clear sales process or don't know where people are dropping off or don't know why your content isn't working or don't know why, people on your landing page aren't converting, like please book a free 10K content strategy audit call. Like that's what these are for. These are time for you where we really look at your business and what's going on. Like it's not some template that I bring to every single call and just slap on everyone. Like it's literally like, okay, maybe we pull up your Instagram account and see what's going on. Or maybe we talk about your sales process. Maybe we talk about that next step that you're selling someone on. Maybe we talk about what your messaging is and getting really clear on that and who it's for and the problem you solve. Like all these things. So I'm going to put the link below. Book a call. I think I have some spots open next week. I know that we're full this week, but be sure to grab a spot. And again, I will see you tomorrow for our conversation with Christy. So have a great day and hope that was helpful.